Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Chilling with Londa. I have another story time. You can already tell by the title what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be juicy. If this is your first time clicking on my channel, what's good? What's up? Become a part of my family. Hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you can keep up with me. Like the video and leave any comment down below. Love talking to you guys. And let's go ahead and get into this video because I can go talking and rambling and talking and rambling. But let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Let's go. So what's good, y'all? I really and truly feel like this story time deserves to be on like a membership because I have to censor my mouth so much with this story time. If you think I should go ahead and start a membership, leave a comment down below and I will consider doing that so that we can go ahead and discuss these juicy story times so I don't have to censor myself so much. But I think this is one of those story times that need a membership, but I'm going to tell it anyway for all to see. And yeah, let's go. Let me go ahead and get started with the story time, y'all. I used to work with the YMCA right out of high school. I'm lying. Maybe like 2 or 3 years out of high school, I was a young buck. I needed a job. I needed some money. I needed to do something, very much something to make a little coin. Just roaming around, dating, partying. It was getting old very fast. I was like 19 or 20, needed a job. I went online, not sure if Indeed was a thing back then, but I went online. I seen that the YMCA was hiring. I didn't have much background in like childcare or anything like that, but it was like an entry job. So I went ahead and applied. I got a call. I had a quick little interview on the phone, and it was like, "You sound real good. You sound good. We want you. So I want to see you in person. We're gonna schedule for an interview in person." And that was that, right? As you guys can probably tell by the way I talk and I carry myself, a very professional. So I went in there, had on my blazer, my business attire, and I was ready for the interview. It was a couple people in there, but I was not worried about them. I get greeted, and a young lady comes get me from the lobby, and I go to the back to do the interview. Now, lo and behold, I don't know if you guys had this in your high school, but City Year, it's like a group of like young adults, and they work at the high schools or middle schools, and they like create programs inside of the schools to help you like go into college, get jobs. So the young lady who was interviewing me, she was one of the ladies from my high school. She was a part of the City Year group. I knew her. I was a part of the City Year group as well. So when she seen me, I'm like, "Hey girl, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's good? What's up?" She's catching up with me. I'm catching up with her. Of course, like the interview didn't go as a normal interview because we kind of know each other. I already knew I had the job. We were talking, we was catching up. She was like, "Oh girl, you got this job." Now, way back when, again, them jobs was not paying much. I was getting paid maybe $9 an hour, maybe $9.25 an hour. I needed the job. I took it. Sister girl gave me the job. She was like, "Yeah, you're gonna start this job, this little elementary school in this area, and your duties, you're gonna have a group of kids, and it's an after school program, the YMCA." So I'm like, cool, I got the job. She gave me a uniform. She gave me 2 uniform shirts, and that was the end of that. I was so excited. I was supposed to start like a week or two after, but I had my uniform and I was on go, girl. I was ready. I was ready to start my job. My first day was kind of nerve wracking because like it was kind of like the first day of school. My first day, I had to go to the school. Everybody, all the kids was lined up in front of the school with their parents, getting to know their teachers and what classes they was going to. It was the same for us workers. I walked into the school. I had no clue what I was supposed to do, who I was supposed to go see. So I'll go to the office. They tell me who's my area, who's the lady I'm working with, my area I'm supposed to go to, which was the cafeteria. So it's the morning time. I got to meet the staff in the school, the security, so they can get to know us, that I'm going to be working at the school. And it was another lady. We're going to call her Miss A. She was a young Spanish lady. Miss A. We're going to call her Miss A. So at first, it was just me and Miss A in the cafeteria. It was our first day. Everything seemed cool. We was getting to know each other. She said she had been working with students for a very long time, so she wasn't new to this. She was true to this. And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I can learn from you." She was like around the same age as me, probably a little older, but Miss A was very cool from at the beginning. As the days continue to go on, I'm going to work. I have my group of students. Now, it was just me and Miss A there, right after school. The students get out of school, and mind you, I don't we only work 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. I was supposed to be there at 2, so I worked 4 hours. So I worked from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The students got out at 2 and 3 o'clock. She had the older group of kids, and I had the younger group of kids, meaning my kids got out at 2 and her kids got out at 3. My kids was like kindergartners up to like first grade, second grade, and she had like third graders on to fifth grade. So she had the bigger kids. My kids was nice. I had a plethora of all kind of backgrounds, all kind of sizes, and they were beautiful. The kids was very nice. I did want it to be called Miss Yolanda. Don't call me Miss Morrison. There was a very old school type of thing. You know, we had one of those students. She don't need a name. She had a little disability. She was a little hard to handle. So we did have like an older teacher there that was there to help us with her, because she was familiar with the student and she knew how to handle her. So I'm just saying all of this to say the first few weeks was okay. It was just me and Miss A. We did not have a supervisor. Me and Miss A would just take our group of kids, take the toys out, make sure they did their homework, fed them, and we went outside to play on the court. Okay, everything is going smooth. So maybe like 3 weeks in, I'm working, I'm inside of the cafeteria, and then this young lady walks in. She's older than, you can tell she's older than me and Miss A. She walks in, we're gonna call her Natasha. So Natasha was this black lady. She looked like maybe a few years older than me and Miss A. She was very short. Natasha was maybe like 5'1", 5'2", very small woman. She wore her long wigs, very curly. She liked that. And she drove one of these little, you know, the little rat car. I call them rat cars. The little Kia, the little square cars. I don't like them cars. They're so ugly, but she had one of them little square cars. But we sitting there, I'm talking to my kids, helping them with their homework, and Natasha walks in. So me and Miss A look at each other because we're on different parts of the cafeteria. I'm on one side, Miss A on the other side with her kids. Natasha walks in, me and Miss A look at each other like, who is this woman, you know? So Natasha walks in and she put her things down on one of the lunch tables, put her bags down, and she motions for me and Miss A to come over. So me and Miss A come over and she's like, hi, my name is Natasha. I'm your supervisor. Yeah, I'm going to be working with y'all. I'm not going to be here every single day, but I'm y'all supervisor. So me and Miss A was like, okay, cool. We got a supervisor. Everything is cool. Everything is okay. And she was very nice at the beginning. As the days began to go on, Miss A became more distant. Like, you know how you start a job, your coworkers are always nice. They seem to be nice, you know. But as the weeks was going on, she became more distant. Like when it was time to take the kids out to the PE court, she would go before me and leave me and my kids. When it was time to take them to the restroom, like sometimes my kids would ask her to go to the restroom. She's supposed to take them. She would like ignore the kids and, you know, wait for me to take them, although they had to use the bathroom. You know, she just started to do little distant things. She didn't really want to be a part of my group and my kids, you know, so I kind of backed off Miss A. Her attitude started to become a little weird. And then I'm working, you know, I'm minding my business. Me and my kids were having a good time doing what we do in the cafeteria. I noticed sometimes Natasha, she would be sitting at the lunch table and she always be staring at me. Like she would always be looking at me, staring at me, and I would look at her and I would smile too because she's the supervisor. I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought maybe she'd like that how I'm working with the children, you know. She would look at me a lot and I would look at her and smile back, you know, just as the time go on, Miss A became more distant from us. I don't know what she had going on. She became more distant from me and Natasha. So me and Natasha would, you know, naturally talk more when I didn't have to do anything with the children. When the children was playing their games and their toys, me and Natasha would sit at the table and we would talk. And Natasha would always be the one to initiate these conversations with me. Like sometimes I would be sitting there chilling on my phone or whatever while the kids eating, and Natasha would just come over there and sit next to me, or she would want me to come sit next to her. And I didn't think nothing was weird, you know, because she's a woman, I'm a woman, you know, we're working together. I didn't think nothing was weird. But I did kind of think like, dang, she a little clingy, you know. And every time we would like sit at the table and talk, she never would include Miss A, like ever. Like that's Miss A probably was getting that feeling that I don't know what was wrong with Miss A, but Miss A was becoming more distant and me and Natasha was becoming more close. Eventually, she started, Natasha, she asked me, you know, during the little sit downs, at the tables. She eventually asked me who do my hair because I had long plaits. I used to wear them big jumbo plaits, and because they was quick and easy and they lasted a long time, so I wore those a lot. So she claimed that's why she would stare at me a lot. She claimed that's why she would smile at me a lot. She said my hair is beautiful. And, I'm like, oh, thank you. So eventually she asked me to hang out outside of work. So, she already had my phone number. She's my supervisor, but she eventually started asking me questions like, do I want to hang out with her and do what do I do after work and this and that. And again, she's a woman. I'm a woman. She's not that much older than me. I'm always open to meet new people, create new friends, So I'm like, okay, we can meet. That's nothing. We can meet. I had a student. We're gonna call her Marilyn. She's not really that much important in the story time, but Marilyn was my favorite. She used to kick my butt in Monopoly. Not Monopoly, Mancala. You know the Mancala when you pick the stones up and put them in the different slots. This little girl, Marilyn was like 5 years old. Marilyn used to tear my butt up in Mancala, y'all. She used to get me good. I used to be trying so hard to beat Marilyn. And she was such a lady. Marilyn was only like 5 or 6 years old, but she was such a lady. She was one of, a little student. She used to she used to sit there and play Mancala and she was such a lady. I don't know. She was just had like an old soul to be 5 years old. Love Marilyn. Marilyn had a lot going on at home. Her parents was going through a divorce, amongst other things that we didn't know about. Like, it was getting ugly at home. Marilyn did not display any of that trauma at school. Like, she was very normal, very much my girl. She was clingy on me. She used to have my arm on lock. Every time she got out of school, she was on my arm the whole time till somebody picked her up. But she was going through a lot at home. One time, her dad came to the school and he needed some forms out of her backpack. I'm not sure what the forms were. I'm not sure what he needed them for. But Miss A, we did not know that the HR had spoke to Miss A about this situation to not allow the dad to come to the school and touch Marilyn and get anything from Marilyn. But they did not tell me, and she's my student. But Miss A knew this. So the dad came one day and he got some papers out of Marilyn's book bag. And I see Miss A from across the cafeteria and she was looking at me side-eyed and I didn't know why. So that was just like the first rift. So naturally, I started to like back off from Miss A because her attitude was giving uninviting. So I started just talking to Natasha. We started getting more close. And Natasha was getting married, y'all. She was getting married. So she she decided to give me and Miss A an invitation to her wedding. And of course, I was going to go because at this point, me and Natasha had become close. So she gave Miss A an invitation only because she said she wanted to be, mature about the situation, be professional. She's the supervisor. So, of course, she gave Miss A an invitation, although she knew Miss A was not interested and she probably would not come. Side note, I had a little student. He was 5 as well. He was in kindergarten. His name was Brandon, y'all. Little Spanish, little cute, little handsome boy. One day, we was in the cafeteria and I was sitting at the lunch table and little Brandon took his little hand. Honey, imagine these my thighs, one thigh, two thigh. They together sitting down on the table. He took his little hand and he was like trying to inch his little hand to my private part. His mama used to work in the office. He was one of those students, had his parents work in the school. So I snatched his little hand up and took him to the office and told his mama what he did. She spanked him so good. I don't know where he get that from. He had to be saying something at home for him to want to know what touching up a woman was like. I also had another student from Miss A group, a little 5th grader, tell me I was a lowlife. One day we was on a PE court and I told him he couldn't do something that he wasn't supposed to be doing. He came out of his little missing tooth mouth and told me that I was a lowlife. Told his parents came to the school and told him up and told him we didn't raise him like that, blah, 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 and all of this good stuff. Those were just little side notes about the students I dealt with. Another one of my students, he was a chunky little boy. He was in the kindergarten as well. He was chunky, very little chunky little boy. And one day we were in the cafeteria and I just noticed he was just sitting there the whole time. Usually this student, he would get up and I would have to tell him over and over, hey, don't do this. Hey, get down. Get down from here. Get back over here. Hey, you stop. You stop. Hey, get over here. Yeah, that was him all day. He was just sitting there all day, quiet. So I go over to him. I'm like, what's wrong, baby? Like, why you not up being yourself today? He goes off his little mouth and tell me he done crapped on himself, y'all. He had done boo-booed on himself, and he was just sitting in it, and he was not going to get up and say nothing to nobody. Called his parents. His daddy came out there, spanked him a little bit, because he was like, why you did that and not even say nothing? So those was just little side notes about my students and my experiences working at the YMCA. So let's get back to it. Natasha and I know Miss A was not gonna come to her wedding, so me and Natasha was close. Me and Natasha would like talk all the time. We would be close together all day, all during the work time when I didn't have to tend to these children. You know what I'm saying? So Miss A was like backed off. One day we were working. Some people come into the cafeteria and then they call us to the front. They call me and Natasha to the front. At first they talk to Natasha. I'm standing there. Natasha comes back. She looking at me with a grin on her face. So I'm like, oh snap, what's going on? The lady called me and she's talking to me. So she was like, the dad who came from Maryland, you know you wasn't supposed to give him the papers, right? I'm like, well, when was I going to get that message? Because I did not know, and she's my student. So she was like, Miss A said she told you and this and that. And I'm telling them Miss A is a lie. And then the lady goes on to tell me, and Miss A saying that y'all bully her. Y'all don't include her in the activities. You guys don't talk to her. She feels very uncomfortable. She feels like you two are ganging up on her. And I'm like, Miss A, at first she was cool. And then she just started backing off from us. She's lying. Long story short, y'all. They let me go. They let Natasha go. They kept Miss A, right? Long story short. This day at the school, we didn't care. Natasha was only getting paid $10 an hour as a supervisor at the YMCA. I was getting paid $9. $10 for a supervisor, we did not care. I forgot to mention this part and tell y'all. Throughout those weeks, me and Natasha would talk. She told me her personal life, of course, you know. She was engaged to get married. Her husband is a British guy. He pretty much got that money. He owned property. She don't have to do this. She just works at the YMCA because it gives her something to do. He got that money. He owns property, right? So we're at the school. We did not care we got fired. That was little money. I needed that job. But the only reason I wasn't so worried, Natasha already told me that she spoke to her husband and I can come work for them. I can come work for her and her husband, right? So we wasn't worried about it at all. They fired us and we was standing out there at the cafeteria. We didn't care. We was like sticking our tongues out at Miss A, telling her she was wimp, she weak, this and that, because she pretty much lied. I don't consider that bullying. If I have a more stronger connection with Natasha than you, I talk to you when it comes to the children, taking them to the restroom, passing out lunch, doing their homework, parent pickup. I talk to you with that and I'm respectful. But me and Natasha have a better connection. So why would I be sitting up there talking to you like that long? She lied. So she thought we was going to be hurt. We did not care. We walked out there. We was happy. So now me and Natasha, you know, I'm not worried. It's like a few days after we done got fired, y'all. We hanging out. We talking on the phone. So I'm hanging with Natasha. Now, this was the issue. She stayed so far from me. She stayed so far down south. I had to catch a train. I had to catch a train all the way to the last stop, get off, catch a bus, and go like 20 more minutes further down south. So she didn't want to drive so far to come get me, and that was okay. So the deal was for me to catch the train all the way to the last stop, and she would pick me up from there, so I don't have to catch the bus. So the first encounter hanging with her was very nice. She picks me up. I get in her little square red car, the little ugly car that I like. And Natasha is very nice. We go to her condo. It was like a townhome. It was one of those communities where it was like a townhome. Big townhome. Big townhome. So we pull into this townhome and I'm like, ooh, it hadn't even been done. Like construction was still going on. It hadn't even been finished being built. It was real nice. So I pull up. I'm like, ooh, I bet it don't got roaches in here. Go inside, and the whole time she can just see my face that I'm just like, a little impressed, because I ain't gonna lie, I ain't believe her. Everybody say their husband got this and that, but this was my first time witnessing it, so I was like, okay. So we get inside her car, we go up to the door, very nice, got the little beep 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 when you open the door, you know what I'm saying? So go inside, I'm like, ooh, this is nice, I'm like, and the whole time she just be looking at me, smiling, and Natasha is very nice, So we're hanging out, we're chilling. I noticed she had cameras in her like living room area inside of the house. So I noticed that she never wanted to hang out in the living room. She always wanted to go up to her bedroom, or she had she had a huge bathroom, y'all. Like the bathroom had like a room in it, child. It was huge. She always wanted to go somewhere else besides the living room. So we would always hang out in different places and stuff like that. One day we was up in her room and I'm in her bathroom. I'm like, oh, checking out stuff. Girl, this nice. What kind of soap this is, girl? Oh, that's cute. I'm up there enjoying myself. Natasha had some huge breasts for her size. Like I said, she was like 5'1", 5'2". Her breast was pretty huge for her size and her height. So we're in the bathroom talking, y'all, and she just catch me off guard. I turn around and Natasha got her itties out. She got, how you doing? She got them out. I'm talking about no bra on, nothing. So I'm like, I've seen breasts before. We've all seen breasts before. Nipples. We've seen nipples before. It just caught me off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so she had her breast out and she was just showing me like her scars. I guess she had a breast reduction once upon a time. So it's just how she did it. She could have been like, girl, you want to see my scar, girl? And cover her nipple. You look at my scar, something like that. She could have did it some way like that. But she was just like, look at my scars, So I was just like, that was weird, and I'm not gonna lie, her reaction to me seeing, like, I was a little shocked. It kind of like made her a little happy. It was kind of weird, I always get caught up in these freaky situations. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it was because of my personality, my attitude when I was younger. I've always been caught up in some freaky situations with some freaky people. So y'all, she about to get married, right? So another day, I'm hanging with her and she picks me up from the train station and we're going to go cake tasting. And I'm like, cool, I never been cake tasting. Why can't I say this? Damn. I'm like, cool, I never been cake tasting before, so I was excited about it. So we go pull up. And we the lady at the bakery is nice, and she give us a little menu, and we're sitting at the table, and it's like so many kinds of flavors of cakes, and she tell us, well, you got like, I don't know how many, you got like 10 choices, I'll be back, let me know. Me and Natasha is sitting at the table. She let me pick out like 70% of her flavors. That was another strange thing to me. You guys might think, girl, you reaching, you full of yourself. No, Natasha was treating me like her girlfriend. She was spoiling me. So this is your wedding. Why am I choosing 70% of your flavors for your wedding? And so yeah, I was a little taken back. I felt good though, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I might have a bestie here. I might got a good friend. God answer my prayers. I might have a good friend who consider my feelings and really just care about what I think. I pick out I don't remember. I pick out a lot of her flavors. The lady bring out little slices of cake. We're tasting them. I'm like, oh, they're so delicious. One of the pieces of cake had frosting on it. I got some frosting on my face, y'all. Got some frosting somewhere on my face. I'm sitting there chewing. And Natasha takes her hand and she takes it and wipe it. Now, that's okay, I guess. What she does next is questionable. Natasha licks the frosting from my mouth and she licked it, y'all. And so I'm sitting there. I'm always so uncomfortable. When I get uncomfortable, I get hot. My face get hot. I get red. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. She always was making me feel uncomfortable, but I accepted it because, she's probably a girl's girl. She likes me. She likes my hair. She likes the way I look. She's older than me, I admire that. So, but I started to feel a little uncomfortable, so Okay. I'm sitting there. She didn't say much of it. I just, like I said, every time she noticed that I would get uncomfortable, Natasha found joy in it. She would like smirk, smile, and she liked it. So one time, another time we're hanging out. That time has passed. Another time we're hanging out. I remember going into the house. I did not know her husband was here this day because usually when we hang out, her husband is gone. Like I said, he had businesses, he had properties, he had a big old doobie truck. Her husband was really who she said he was. He was busy. So this day when I walked in the house, I wasn't expecting to see her husband there. He don't need no name. We're gonna call him husband. And she walks me into the room in the living room where he was, and he was sitting at a computer desk. Like, it was like an office room. And then so I'm standing at the entrance of the door, and she walks into the room where he at, and she sits on his lap. Now while she's sitting on his lap, they're whispering in each other's ear, they're talking. And I'm still sitting there waiting for her to come back so we can go upstairs, because I told you I was working for them. Working for them was me hanging out with her, being spoiled, hanging in a house, us riding around doing errands for her husband. That was me working for them because they did pay me. They paid me. They paid me. So I'm sitting there, y'all. I'm just standing there at the entrance of the door. And she looks at me and she smiled. Her husband was like, "So what's your name?" And I'm like, he has to know my name. So I'm like, "Yolanda." He was like, "What's your last name?" I was like, I told him my last name. He was like, "No, your last name gonna be Miss Jones." So I'm like, "Miss Jones?" He was like, "Yeah, your last name gonna be Miss Jones." And the way he was just talking to me, he was just like kind of flirting with me while she was sitting on his lap. She was smiling at him. It was so awkward, y'all. So awkward. The day goes on. I guess he gave her some money. He needed some products. We go to one of those office stores. I'm not sure, to buy like desks, products for office, pens, pencils, folders, that kind of Office Max, probably one of those kind of stores. We go there. He gives her the money. We buy all kinds of desks, chairs. We needed exit signs for his apartment buildings. We needed a lot of stuff. She pulls out a lot of money, pay the person. I'm like, "Ooh, they got that money." We leave. She like, "You hungry?" She always made sure I eat. We left there. We go eat crepes. Now, when I say these crepes wasn't just some fast food type of crepes, these crepes was the truth. These was artisan crepes. These was good crepes. These was fresh crepes. I'm talking about the best crepes I ever had in my life. We sit there, we eat crepes. And the day is winding down. It's getting late now. I stayed. These kids. So we leave that place. And because it's dark now, I stay so far, so I need to go home to catch the darkness. So we're driving, we're in the car, and I know you're not. So we're almost close to the train station, and you know how you drive too fast and you have to hit the brakes. And I guess when you have children, your natural instinct is to go like this to try to hold them from flying. So I'm sitting in the passenger seat. She hits the brake and she goes like this. Now, okay, maybe it's her motherly instincts because she did have a son. But it would be more appropriate if she would have did like this. She did like this and grabbed the tatas, and she held it there for a little bit. And I eventually pushed her hand off. It wasn't hard, but I was like, "I'm okay." You know what I'm saying? And it was like, "What?" So we get to the train station, and you know how you say your goodbye, and then you kiss the person like how you do it on the side of the cheek like that. I went in to give this girl a side cheek, and she put her head forward. And kissed me on the mouth. So now, y'all, again, I did not react how you probably thought I would because I was having a good time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna just keep it 100. It didn't really make me like very angry. Uncomfortable, yes, but angry, no. Because I was having so much fun with this lady. Natasha was such a good time. And let me tell you something. I am not a lesbian or bisexual woman, but if I was, she sure would have been mine. And we was just having a good time. So I wasn't mad, but I was very uncomfortable. I go home, I get off the train, I'm home now. She texts me. She was like, "Did I make you uncomfortable?" And of course you did. I tell her yes. I said, "Yes, you made me uncomfortable. This and that." She tells me, "Oh, I was a lesbian in high school." Now she's coming out with her true feelings. And it was just like, I'm always just caught in these situations, sprung along, thinking I'm making a friend, thinking I had a friend in her, thinking this is going to be my bestie, my sister. And she had this attraction to me that was just romantic, want for me. And I know what you're gonna ask. Well, Londa, did you hang out with her again? Yes. You know why? Because well, they were paying me. They was paying me $500 a week. They was paying me cash. It wasn't no paper sign, no taxes, no none of that. They was paying me under the table. You get me? It was $500 a week. I was getting paid $9 an hour, barely making $300, $400. Like, come on now. Of course, I was getting treated like a princess. I'm just keeping it real. Like, don't judge me, judge your mama. I was having a good time. And I did have my guard up because I knew they was on that freaky stuff. I knew it. How they was sitting there and she was sitting on his lap and telling me my name Miss Jones and it's not. I knew they was on some freaky stuff and I kept my guard up. They wasn't gonna catch me slipping and get me no. All right, let's get to the shit now. Let's get to it. All right, so another day we hang out. I decided to still hang out with Tasha. She picks me up. This day we had to run some errands for her husband. We go to this nice building. It was the lawyer's office. She had to handle some things for her husband, and I was there. I was along for the ride. So we're sitting in the office, and this lady sends me screenshots of the biggest ding dong pictures. You know what I'm talking about, the rubber stuff. Come on now, catch my drift. The biggest hing hong ding dong pictures of the scraps and stuff like that. And I'm just taken aback. And now at this point, now it's becoming too much. So now I'm not smiling. I'm comfortable. Now I'm getting mad. So she sees I'm getting mad and she stops. She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you liked it and this and that." But she kind of stopped, and that visit was very short. We went back to her house. We filled out some papers for him that he needed for his new building, and that was the end of that day. Around this time, I was going through some terrible times with my dad. I was staying with my dad. We would fight, go through all kind of stuff. I would leave for days. He would say mean things to me. I say that to say that I didn't have the money that they were giving me every week, like that $500. It would go to more like important things. I had a lot of bills. I had a lot of things to catch up on. It wasn't play money, I had a lot of things to take care of. So I didn't have much money to spare. I'm going to admit I was wrong in this situation. I was dead wrong in this situation. I could have scrapped up for those couple months. I could have saved. I was dead wrong, but let me get to it. So after that whole situation with her sending me pictures of that, those toys and stuff like that, I made up in my mind that I'm done with this woman. Like, I thought she was going to be a good friend of mine, but clearly she wants other things with me that I'm not interested in. So in my head, I decided to pull out. I no longer wanted to be her friend anymore. Her wedding was coming up, however, and I did buy a dress and I bought some shoes and I had a nice date to come with me. Long story short, we went to her wedding. The wedding was beautiful. They spun beautiful flowers everywhere. She was beautiful. Her hair was beautiful. The food was nice. She had an open bar. The venue was very, very, very nice. And long story short, I ended up leaving my purse there by mistake. I left my purse under the tables. Now, if you have heard one of my story times before, I've done that before. I don't know why, but I had left my purse under one of those tables at the venue, and I had very important documents in that purse. I needed my purse. So after the wedding, the guy that I went with, I get all the way home and I'm like, "Oh, I left my purse at the venue." He was like, oh my gosh, he was so mad, but he was like, "Come on, let's go. Like, let's go get the purse." So we speed all the way down south to go get this purse at this venue. I get inside the venue. The people is already cleaning up. They're like, "No, ma'am, we don't see no purse. Somebody stole your girl purse." I had my social because I just had, went probably used my social security. I don't do that now. My everything was in there. Somebody took my purse and nothing ever came out of it. I don't have no fraud cases or anything like that that I know of. But, you know, I didn't find my purse. So a couple days later, I'm texting Natasha. I'm like, have you seen my purse? Like, have anybody, because you know she was the bride, maybe they would like give it to her. She's like, no, nobody give me a purse. Now again, where I messed up at, and I'm going to admit to you guys, I messed up. I did not get her a wedding gift, y'all. I did not have the money. I wanted to get her something specific and I didn't have the money for it. So I just didn't get her anything at the wedding. Like, I didn't have a physical gift at the wedding, right? So throughout these days, I don't have my purse. I'm like calling Natasha. She's not answering. She responding a little bit, but she won't answer the phone. When she finally answered the phone, I'm like, girl, I lost my purse. And she's short talking me. And I'm like, what's wrong? She was like, well, you worried about your purse. You didn't get me anything for my wedding. And I'm like, hold on, Natasha. I text you. We talked about, like, I'm going to get you the gift that I wanted to. It just wasn't going to be the day of your wedding. We had talked about that. So I felt like I was wrong that I didn't physically have a gift that night. But I had motions and I had savings to get exactly what I wanted to get for her, to thank her for all of the good time that we had. She spent a lot of money on me. We had so much good time. So I didn't understand where she was coming off sideways to me. So she was like, no, you didn't get me a wedding gift, and I did this for you and I did that for you, and amongst making me feel uncomfortable and trying to recruit me to be our second wife, like, you know. And I'm trying to explain to Natasha, like, girl, chill. You I don't really want to be your friend anymore, but I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I have emotion to get you a gift. So like I said, I was wrong for not having that gift, but I had plans to get her this gift, y'all. I really did. And so that friendship right there, it just, you know, she probably didn't want to talk to me anymore after that. She was so in her feelings about me not physically having that wedding gift for her. And I can totally understand why. But on my side, I truly didn't give a damn. Oh, y'all. It sounds so bad to say, but I really didn't give a damn because she was doing too much. She was trying to make your girl her sugar mama, like her sugar baby, and her girlfriend. And I don't know, they was trying to recruit me to be their second wife and all kind of stuff. I don't care, girl. So I guess the friendship was over after that, honey. And that little gift that I was saving up for, it went out the window. Like, I used that money for something else, you know. Because it kind of hurt my feelings. Because I truly was saving my little money that I had was to give her this big gift that I wanted to give her. And if you guys want to know what I was saving up to give her, was a nice chain. If you guys can see in all my videos, I love gold. I love gold jewelry. It was like a nice gold chain. I was saving up to get her a nice chain. It cost some money. I have sensitive skin. I can't use fake jewelry. So she just couldn't wait for your girl, and that friendship was done, y'all. It didn't need to be had anyway because she was married and she was trying to give me the toy, y'all. She was trying to give me that toy, y'all. And she was married. Just messy. So I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. And tell me how you feel down in the comments, and we can talk about it. And I think I'm done with that story time, y'all. And if y'all enjoyed it, go ahead and like it. Subscribe if you're not already. And just go ahead and just support your girl. I appreciate it. And I'm out. Peace.